Yo, it's Jeff Ross, Mike's hot, let's ride, caffeinated, clip the script, helping burnt out dads like a hustle shift. This ain't hype. It's purpose and play, building biz with soul, the laptop dad way. Reels A, I feed them in your grip with a boom sauce beat and a real talk tip. Here the soul, bounce, legend in the Awesometown where kangaroos coach and kings wear crowns. This is the laptop lifestyle dad show, boom sauce.
All right, once is enough. Cool. G'day, guys. Welcome back to the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy. And I'm just going to kick this off with talking about energy and state of mind. Guys, this is life. You know, this is business. This is everything in between. You know, and I was just hearing a bit of a conversation in our banter before we hit record and that sort of thing. And I'm going to tackle that conversation as well. And this is going to be a little bit of an impromptu training, but I feel like this is something that needs to be called out. This is something that's on my heart. And I think this is something that is very powerful to help us to get into action, you know, and get out past the overwhelm, get past the confusion stages and whatnot, and just get some clarity around state of being, state of energy. Just get some clarity around our state, you know, state of resonance, state of vibration. Like before I hit record here on this lesson, you know, and it seems to be a day of it, right? Everything happens for us, not to us, is a great reminder. And, you know, it's just been a day of tech glitches, tech issues. And so when we get into our frustration state, when we get into our anxiety state, when we get into stress, when we get into anger, you know, all of these emotions, right? You know, we're talking skin bags full of human emotions. We need to recognize we're emotional creatures, right? But we can stay to choose and, you know, be in that state, or we can choose to go, nah, I'm not entertaining that low vibration. I'm not entertaining that low energy conversation. I'm going to flip the switch. It's my choice to react, or it's my choice to respond. You know, I am the controller of my switch, not the other way around. And when you bring an awareness to this, then it gives you the power in this to be able to say, nah, not today, not now, right? And these are little pattern interrupts, these are little cues to change our state. So just right now, like I used that little introduction song there to help me to shift my focus, to shift my mindset, to shift my energy, my heart. So I bring things in like these. These are tools to help me to change that state of mind, to change that state of being, to change that state of energy. This is the difference between operating out of low energy and high energy, low vibration and high vibration, low income results, high income results. What we think, what we do, we act on, what we act on, we get results. So I'm actually going to go into like an hour of power with you. And in this conversation, we will give you the opportunity to say, Jeff, you know, I'm just suffering from this challenge. I'm suffering from this state of mind. I've got this challenge. I got this win. You know, once again, I've just caught myself. That word suffering, right? That's a state of mind. It's a state of being. I can choose to stay in that suffering, or I can choose to flip the switch and go, right, where are my problems? How do I solve them? Let's get into solution creation. So this is all about getting out of our emotions and getting into our heart. When we operate out of our heart, we lower our emotions and we operate from that intelligent space, that creative space. You know, if you're operating out of scarcity, if you're operating out of lack, if you're operating out of fear, it's a no wonder that you're getting those brought back to you in spades, because it's the law of reciprocity. People call this the law of attraction. They call it manifestation. They call it whatever they call it, right? I call it the law of energy, the law of vibration, the law of magnetic energy. And what we get out, we get back normally tenfold. So we can choose to be a victim. We can choose to stay stuck in our pain. We can choose to stay stuck in our blame, excuses, and denial. And I understand this is a bit of a kick up the ass and a bit of a slap on the forehead moment. It's intentional to be that way, to help us to get that pattern interrupt and help us to take ownership, help us to lean into the truth, help us to choose our heart. Whether you realize it or not, you're making a choice to react, a choice to respond. Now, if you don't realize it, your subconscious is going into default in making that choice for you on your behalf. So my question for you, who's in the driver's seat? Is it your subconscious? Or is it your conscious mind? You know, who is really in the driver's seat of your body, of your actions, of your life? You are, of course. But this is the difference between walking around with our eyes shut versus walking around with the eyes wide open. So from today on, this conversation, however it lands, but this is your time to make a line in the sand and say, right, this is my new day one. This is my new level one from this moment on in this state of being. I've had to have some really tough conversations with this week because I've been scared. I've been afraid. I've been worried about loss. I've been operating out of a fear on how others might react, on how others might respond. I've been operating out of a space of scarcity and lack and loss versus letting go of that and going, right, we need to have some tough conversations with family members and everything else in between, things that I've been avoiding. I've been in avoidance behavior. See, that was my choice. Whether I realized it or not, I can now look back at it and go, right, I was just avoiding shit. It was too hard. So let's put it into the too hard basket, right? That was a choice. Whether I realized it or not, that's what I chose to do. And that dragged on something for 2 to 3 to 4 months. I had a really impactful conversation with my son about this, and having the hard, tough conversation about what we had to have a talk about has helped us to elevate the vibration, has helped us to elevate the energy, has helped us to take ownership, accountability, and responsibility for our own actions. So as I shift gears here and we go into our daily non-negotiable task, I really want to start here with this space because this is, the mindset, the energy set, the state of being. We talk a lot about state here. This is what we need to, if we're going to go into our building our business, we need to operate out of a space of state of being that's a high energy, that's attractive energy, that is being the reason for someone to smile type energy. This is that passion, that's that confidence, that's that posture piece, this is that transfer of belief piece. This is how we influence people and win friends piece. But see, if we're just going through the motions, because we said we're going to commit to ourselves, we're going to post every day, we're going to reach out to people every day, but you're operating out of that scarcity, that lack, that anxiety state. What you think, what you feel, what you feel, what you do. What you do is what you act, and what you act is what you get your results. So let's flip it. We need to know what results we're after. That's goal setting. We need to know what we need to act on. That's planning. But then the rest of it here, what is it about? It's about state. It's about energy. It's about feelings. It's about thought. So it's up to us to choose which hard we're going to take on. Because I know, living for the moment, looking for excuses to escape life, looking to just ways to numb life, looking to, just show up and clock on, clock off, not be my heart in it type life, looking to just go through the motions because I said I'd do something and let my yes be a yes and my no be a no, but still I'm not giving my heart and into it and all that. That's hard, right? It's hard. It's hard to go through that life just flapping in the wind, and it's hard to make ends meet. It's hard to stay in a low vibration. It really, really is hard. You know what is the opposite is true? It's hard on this side of the conversation too. It's hard to be present. It's hard to make sure we flip the switch. It's hard to take ownership. It's hard to take accountability. It's hard to take responsibility and live life above the line. So what shifted in this conversation? It's still hard. Nothing changes. I actually think it actually gets harder to live life above the line. I really, really do. And that's the reality check. But what's the most rewarding? If exactly right, if it was easy, everyone would do it. But what's the most impactful? What's the most rewarding? Where's the higher energy conversation versus the low energy conversation? It's hard to stay in low energy, but it's hard to stay in high energy. But what is better for society? What is better for your family? What is better for you? So guess what? We get to choose our heart, right? So we get to choose how we stay at a higher vibration. So this leads into my first non-negotiable is just like AI is garbage in, garbage out. What you put in here is garbage in, garbage out. I can give you a really good case study evidence. Look at me, 6 foot, 140 kilos. I'm obese because I eat my emotions. I'm doing something about it. I've lost a lot of weight over the last 6 months. And I know Jade's doing something about it and taking accountability for her stuff, and she's lost a lot of weight. And she's looking bloody good for it too, by the way. I can see it in your face, right? But see, it's hard to stay fat. It's hard to get healthy. The hard in staying fat is my joints ache. I'm always in low energy. I'm foggy brain. I'm foggy headed, right? So, and I'm calling myself out here as I call everybody else out here, right? This is practice what you preach type sort of moment, right? If I was doing it from a pedestal and whatnot, being a hypocrite, this would be a whole different conversation. There would have no substance to it. But I'm in here in the trenches with you, in this space, getting my hands dirty and scuffs on my knees and getting the bruises and cuts that go with it. That's what gives this credibility. That's what gives this authenticity. That's what gives this grit, clout. substance. And the only difference between you and I in any of these conversations is I'm just a little bit further down the path than you are. And in some areas, you're further down the path than I am too. Celeste, you've got a lot of wisdom, to add to this conversation. Jade, Daryl, Mel, Dave, you've all got wisdom and experiences that you can add to the conversation. That's your flavor, that's your diversity in this space. But see, this is what I very first non-negotiable life work on. For me, the thing I'm very conscious about and the thing that I have done a lot of work on is this thing and is this thing. Garbage in, garbage out. So I surround myself with positive music. I surround myself with people who are running the same race. I surround myself with, people who are intentional about leadership. I consume everything I can find about leadership, about buying psychology, about being a better communicator, about being a better leader, about being a better sales guy, a marketing guy, about being a better network marketer. I consume content in everything I can. I'm a sponge to renew my mind and restore my heart conversations. I'm a sponge to be a better father. I'm a sponge to be a better husband. I'm a sponge to improve my areas of my life where I need improving on. This is called personal development. Actually, I was having a conversation with Daryl about this just yesterday. When I looked at, in my 20s, anything to do in personal development space was, woo, 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 woo. You guys are crazy. Hello, I'm one of them. It's funny how we can transform, right? But that was supposed to be my thinking. That was my shut down, hard-hearted point of view that this is all airy fairy, this is all woo woo, this is all bonkers. You're a bunch of clowns. But see, if you look at that conversation, was I really believing that? No, I was just adopting other people's point of view, their influence on me in that space. And so it doesn't matter what age you were when you figured that out. If you're here and you're 80, great, you've woken up, brilliant. You're here when you're 12, great, you've woken up, brilliant. This is about people waking up. This is about people finding their heart, finding their purpose, finding their core piece to it. You know what I mean? And Joseph McClendon says, until you find that purpose, until you find that heart's calling, everything you do in life is going to be hard. Do you think getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning to serve, my clients here in America is hard? Yeah, but I love it, right? It's a labor of passion. I'm obsessed with it. Do you think it was economical and healthy for me to go and get on a plane, travel for 26 hours, go to Atlanta for 3 days and come back and do that again? And then look at doing it again in another 4 months? Like, I'm crazy, right? But I want to be in the room. Oh, Celeste, we got to hug each other. We got to spend some intimate time with each other. Did we get enough quality time? No. But I know we do it again. This is where we build on that relationship, right? So this moves into the next piece here. So we work on falling in love with ourselves. This is the falling in love with yourself piece. How can you be a leader and lead others if you're not doing self-leadership, personal development? These words are powerful, right? We can't lead other people. We can't be a network marketer and expect people to follow us and lead other people if we can't lead ourselves. So read a book, read 10 minutes a day. It's funny, you read 10 minutes a day, you'll read a whole book in 30 days, right? I love to listen to podcasts. I'm a podcast host. So this is part, so I look for ways to combine things to get the more bang for the buck for my time and energy. See, I love doing podcast interviews. I love being the host of that. You can see it in the way that I show up in the summits and in the podcast. And you know why I love it more than anything? I'm being really selfish here for a second. I get free mentoring from some of the greats. I get to ask them powerful questions, but in the same time, I'm feeding my brain, I'm feeding my heart. And in that space, I'm helping others to be exposed to that same wisdom. That's that dual side of the sword, right? So personal development, 10 minutes a day. That's all I ever ask for anybody. So if I had 60 minutes a day, this is what I would do. I'd start with 10 minutes a day in something to shift me out of my shit, out of my BS zone, and get into, so out of my negative BS zone and get into my positive BS zone. Boom sauce, baby. Right? I can have bullshit or I can have boom sauce. The choice is mine. Hashtag quotable. You see, here's another thing, right? Content, right? But before we get into content, that's a personal development step 1. Step 2 is connection, right? So let me share with my screen here and get a little bit interactive. Just someone unmute themselves. Can you see my screen okay? I can't see you on the camera anymore. All good?
Yeah, all good.
All right. So guys, number 1, actually, and I'll come back to here, I'll come back to screen share. Over everything else that you should be doing other than, being self-leader, if you've got 5 minutes a day here, if you've got shit going on, Drama left, right, and center. You got a son in hospital, you've got a daughter in hospital, you've got a death in the family. Like, I don't care. You should be connecting with new people every day, right? Because this keeps the foot on the gas and the foot on the paddle, and this takes me ownership and whatnot I'm wanting to do, right? See, if you're mission focused and your mission matters most, you'll do whatever you need to do to keep these non-negotiables, to keep everything in place. Because it's about impact, it's about legacy. Like, I lost my good friend Malcolm Jamal Warner, and I know a few of you here had the opportunity to connect with him as well. Like, that has actually lit a flame up in me like never before in that space, and it's given me to that point where I just won't tolerate low energy conversations anymore. That's me personally. That's what I choose to do, right? That's how I'm operating at this higher level. So when I'm blunt and I say I don't care about things, oh, I do care, of course, but it's a kick ass. It's meant to be a cosmic boot up the ass, because everybody can go connect to 10 new people a day in 5 seconds in today's world. So there should be no excuses around this. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. You can still take responsibility and ownership and accountability for moving things forward, even in the shittest storms, in the hardest seasons of life. It is our responsibility as leaders to continue to move forward in life, and to help others to move forward in life, to help others to step up and shine and grow up. And they can't do that if you're not doing it as well. And when I kick your ass in this space, really what I'm actually doing is I'm kicking my own ass. It's giving my own self a boot up the ass in this space, because these are things that I know that have held me back in a big, big way in my excuse and blame and denial, and stayed in my bed, so to speak. And these are the things that I've chosen my hard, because the result of that is hard. Right. So when I kick ass, I'm kicking my own ass more than anything, but it's done with love. It's done with compassion. It's done with understanding. So when I show you how to connect with people, this is really simple. You've got tools out there that can help you facilitate this, but even without the tools, look, I can go here and scroll down quickly. I'll show you how quickly to do it. Someone time me. I'm going to connect with 10 new people. Or actually, I'm at a 5,000 limit, so I need to unconnect with a few people that haven't been following me. All right, so here we go. Stay away from drama, always negative. I agree with that sentiment. There's 539 people there that agree with me. So, well, there's 348 that love it. There's 150 that like it. Okay, one person is sad about it. Right, so I'm going to show you. Right, so, okay, this friend here is going to share my content. This is what happens when you show up and you be interactive with people and you serve. People start mentioning you. It's called mention marketing. Side hustle, side job. Okay, I'm not actually a member of that group, but here you go, side array. Everyone wants a side hustle until they realize actually the hustle. Yeah, okay, cool. Look, yeah, that's brilliant. Gemma King, thank you very much for a brilliant post. Look at this, 1.2 thousand people. All right, do you think I could find 10 people to connect with? I'm looking for people who have more than 5 mutual friends. There we go. Crowley, say add friend. Is it going to let me do it? Oh, yeah, Facebook's let me do it. Oh, no, here we go. There you go. You've reached your 5,000 limit. So I need to go unfriend 10 people to add 10 new people. That's the stage I'm at. But when you get going, right? See, there's no excuse around getting to your 5,000 followers as fast as possible, right? If you do that 10 a day, let's say if you're starting off even with, you got 4,000 connections, right? So 4,000, divide that by even just a bare ass minimum of 10 a day. That's 400 days to get to your 5,000. Right, so to get to the 5,000, okay, cool, 400 days. So over a year and a half, you'll have 5,000 connections. How do I speed that up? Oh, do more. Let's do 20, do 20 a day. Now, some of this stuff, Facebook doesn't really like it. You will end up in Facebook jail in those times. What Facebook jail, sort of what they're looking for, is natural patterns of behavior, in my understanding. So, okay, you can do that in 200 days. If you do just 20 a day, do you think it's easy to go and do 50 a day, 100 a day, right? Starting to get a bit more aggressive now and starting to really put the pedal to the metal. Facebook will put you in Facebook jail. Okay, cool. Put me in jail. You penalize me for 24 hours. I get free. I go do it again, but I don't do it as aggressive. You got to push the boundaries for you to know where the boundaries are. Right. When I'm doing this, you can remember, look back 12 months ago, Jade, I was in Facebook jail at least once a week, wasn't I? It's like, and I had fun with that. I put up content about it. I played into it. And I said, okay, this is me taking massive action. This is what it looks like. This is where you learn to be the king of spin. Now, I'm not saying that you be the king of spin for political reasons. Like, politicians are absolute masters at spin. But what I'm saying is this is where you become the king of storytelling and you lean into it. And you always look at it from an optimistic point of view and a positive point of view. And everything can be twisted to serve the mission, right? Because the mission matters most, not the transaction. Right. So there you go. I go connect with the 10 people, new people every day. And what I do to take that. So there's levels of connection. So what I do to take that connection level deeper is I do this. I go say hello. This is like the equivalent of walking up to a stranger at a pub and going, hey, how are you? Shake my hand. And what I do here is I just open up 10 a day. Now, don't let your minimums be your maximums, right? But what I'm doing, guys, is I'm starting conversations. I'm being someone, the reason for someone to smile today. I'm being a nice person. I'm being someone worth connecting. I'm being a genuine, authentic, professional connector. No judgments, no condemnations, whether we agree or not, blah, blah, blah. Our content will qualify people in or out. And that's that content piece, which I'm moving to next. This is what I do, right? So I got friends here. Great connection. Great connection. Right, so Rosalind, I know, has already started a conversation with me. She reached out to me first. So there you go. There's one going already. So, Cara, okay, this is what I do. G'day, Cara. Great to connect with you. Trust that you're having a boom source day. I'd be someone who's worth connecting with. I don't go, hey, Cara, how are you? Everybody else is doing that, right? So when everybody's zigging, there's a reason they're zigging because it works. But find the way to zag, find the way to raise above. This is that voice piece, right? When you understand your tonality, your energy, your vibe, bring that in from the very first interaction, very first connection. So source day works for me really, really well because everybody comes, that's good. I like that. But what is boom source? There's another clue. Lead with creating curiosity to create deeper connection. Because all this is shaking hands. All this is knocking on doors. All this is an invitation to start a connection, right? So I go and do that 10 times a day. And so I'll basically copy and paste and I'll just change the front name and make it personal. Or if I want to really slow it down, I can go, hey, Melody, cool, Jesus loving entrepreneur, wife, mum, and midwife. Brilliant. All right. So, Fort Worth, Texas, I would then go a little bit deeper with that one. So here's what I could do with this one, just quickly whilst I'm on the fly. I take Cara's. I would start that one off that way. Let's go to Melody. All right, she's connected with me. She's accepted my friend request. And I'm going to change that name. So Melody, great to connect with you. Trust that you're having a boom source day. Hey, I see that you live in Texas. I am actually heading your way in November on a road trip from LA to Miami. Road trip from LA to Miami, whatever. Have you got any must-see places along the way? What am I doing? You might not be doing an LA to road trip to Miami, right? So you can't do that. But what am I doing? I'm starting a conversation. I'm building on the connection. I'm knocking on the door. I've shown her that I know that she lives in Texas. I've gone and done a little cheeky stalk. I've shown her that I've slowed down enough to show her that I care, because people don't care about what you know until they know how much you care. All right, this is live. This is interactive. She's seen me. Cool. All right, let's come back to that. I reckon she might reply if she's seen that. If not, if she doesn't, okay, she's not my person. Probably just got to slow down to my content and let my content do it. Right, and that moves to step 3, daily non-negotiable. Put up at least 1 to 2. I would actually recommend put up at least 3 posts a day. If you've got time, do more. If you've only got an hour a day, this is what I would do, right? So I leave it at that until they respond, right? So I do that 10 times a day at least. I'm in conversations. Now, if she doesn't respond, I don't go any further. That's me knocking on the door. The door's closed. Okay, door's closed. I won't move any further. Now, I'll move on to the next day. I put up content. So what do we got? We got first connection. We've got conversation. Now we've got content. And I'm putting up content that I know that my audience will respond to, because I'm building my audience in a way that's intentional, of people that I want to hang out with, people that I want to do business with. So, of course, when I put up content, being a genuine guy, being someone who's worth following because I'm interested and interesting, and I'm serving from that hearted value place, servant-hearted value space, people are going to engage with my content because they're going to resonate with it. They'll relate with it. Here you go, the real secret to growing your business online that most people skip. I'm talking about promotion, all right? So here we go. I posted that about an hour ago. All right, I've started a conversation with Bianca. She's in part of the Finance Pro team. I met Adam. I met him at Finance Pro. Alex, I've met him through other things. He's in Finance Pro with me. So people are going to help you to support you as well. Jim, I've just started a conversation with Jim. He's a podcaster. He's a Christian. He's joined the online church. I can now build a conversation and go deep with him. Lucia, one of our earlier students. Obviously, Jade and Dave, your supporters will support you. Paula, been connecting with her for the last 3 years. She lives in the Philippines. Beautiful lady. All right, this one here's a new one. All right, so I already did this morning. And I've started a conversation with Vic, right? So then this is going deeper. Now I'll move into qualifying station. So hi, boom source day. Good to hear for you. Really, really well. That's good. How's everything going with you? I'll go, look, we're just duplicating this now. So this is also red flags territory. Straight away, that's only got 3 likes. That's only got 3 followers. This here is a cloned account. And that's that. And I bring that up because I wanted to highlight that. That's a clone account. So straight away, you can see patterns, right? That's probably a bot that's replying to because it replied too early and it's starting to create patterns. So I'll play around with a little bit to break the bot just to make sure I'm not being, conned. But I can tell you right away, that's red flags. I actually know Vic. When I reflect back on connections, I'm sure I've already connected with Vic. And that is a red flag. That's a cloned account. So once you actually know that, all right, simple, done, block, move on. Right, so this is the thing, right? That you will, when you're putting yourself out there into the wild, wild west, you're going to come across against cowboys. And away we go, right? So then I move into this next piece here. As I'm building in connections and I'm finding for those things that we have commonality around, that I can build rapport, that I can build trust, and I can build influence. So for every 8 out of 10, so every, so like it's 20 rule, right? So I put up 10 posts. For every 2 out of 10, those 2 are going to be more promotional. Those 2 are going to be more call to action. Those 2 are going to be, here's what I'm doing. Do you want to come work with me? Those 2 are going to be, here, put your hand up to qualify yourself to move into the next part of the conversation. See, what we're doing here is we're building a money funnel. And this takes time, consistency, and momentum. And this is why you need to show up daily to get this consistency muscle working for you. So now I move into qualify and invite stage, into that deeper conversation. Hey, I'm curious. You got a TV? Would you like to explore what it looks like to get paid to watch it? Huh? I don't close. I don't try and sell. I start conversations and I create curiosity. So I ask really great questions. Questions are the answers. Really great book. Questions are the answers because they'll help you to move further forward in this conversation. So I just ask really great qualifying questions. I go from being a conversation starter now to being a detective. So I can be a guide. I'm not going to put a product in front of someone unless I know that it's the right fit for them. So I learned to ask the good questions around that to qualify people. And they go, yeah, sure. Tell me more about it. See what's happened? They're giving you permission now to promote. And this is where we shift from that permission to promote stage. And then I don't do it. I let the tools do the work. Don't be a tool, use the tool, right? So this is the 4th C in the process, continuing the conversation. I used to use the word follow up a lot, but people get hung up on sales terms and people hate follow up, but everybody can continue a conversation, right? So words are powerful. So we go into the 4th C. So we make sure that we're continuing the conversation. Now you might be saying to me, Jeff, okay, how do I manage my inbox now? And that's a great question. I'm going to come back to that. It's about being intentional. It's about having systems. It's about having flow. What I'm giving you is my daily flow, right? So then I move into qualifying questions to essentially to follow up with people, but to continue the conversation, to go deeper with them. And all I ask is simply is, did you get a chance to watch it? What did you like best? Did you get a chance to explore it to see if this is a fit for you? Great. If so, what did you like best? Did you do X, Y, Z? What did you like best? They're going to come back to you and say, I like that. Great, whatever that is. Yeah, me too. We're looking for that relatability factor. Yeah, me too. Here's why I like it. Here's why I feel about it. Have you got any other questions? You're ready to get started. See, what I'm doing is I'm giving them permission to ask me questions. I'm giving them space to ask me questions. And when they ask questions, that's a really great question. Here, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Jade. Here, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Amanda. Here, I'm going to introduce you to my friend Mike. Here, I'm going to introduce you to. Even though that I know the answers, I want to shift from that conversation, from me having to do the sales part of it, to being a professional inviter and bringing the third party, because now I'm showing them respect to their time and energy and leverage the 3-way. And this is how we create multiplication, not just duplication. Because I've found I'm a great recruiter. I can go recruit 100 people like that. How many people do you think can follow my lead without going that model? I'll give you the stat, 3%. I've found if I just focus on recruitment and teach people to do recruitment, 3% will only convert and be as effective, or if not anywhere close to what I can do. That's 16 years of experience. That's not to say, any arrogance or toot the horn. That's just, I'm fucking great sales. I know my shit. I know I do. But see, people who are just getting started, who don't have 16 years experience in that space, who haven't gone through and created the rhino skin and know how to get through rejection and objections and all of the other sales stuff, they see that and they go, oh, fuck, I can't do that. Jeff's a machine. He's impressive, but there's no way I can do that. So this is why the 3-way is very powerful. because people can see themselves doing a simple introduction. They're really great questions. I'm going to introduce you to my friend Jade. Jade is my business partner here in this space, and she knows this product like the back of her hand. She's an absolute machine. So what I'm doing is I'm edifying, right? It's that power of edification. So I'm introducing you to Jade, and then I'm going to hand the baton over well to Jade, and I'm going to say, Jade's really great at what she's done. You're in great hands. What am I doing? I'm creating a safe space to feel seen, heard, known, right? So you're in really great hands. Hey, Jade, meet Celeste. She's really curious about what it looks like to work with us in the LLD space. And I know that you're my business partner here and all that sort of thing. And I just thought I'd introduce you because you're both women and you're both, got a really good heart in that space. And, so you're looking for ways to connect, to hand the baton over well. And Celeste, you're in really great hands with Jade. She's going to be able to answer all your questions around X, Y, Z, and we'll be able to support you. Hey, thank you very much for blessing us the opportunity to explore this together. So now I'm closing the loop. I've handed it over to Jade. I've set her up for success. And the next question, Jade's going to come in and introduces, hey, Celeste, it's great to connect. With everything that Jeff's shown you, what do you like best? She's going to repeat that question again, even though that I've already had a conversation with Jade in the background and set her up for success in that way and handed it over well. She's going to come in there now, equipped and empowered as a leader to now bring it home. And then so Jade will now go into the questions and answer all of Celeste's questions. And she's just going to do the objection handling, the discovery, the exploration, right? So I've done all the emotional work. I've created the safety in that space. Now Jade just has to close it and do the logic. And then that's how we partner and run together. So that's the fifth part is the enrollment part. And then the sixth parts of the conversation is make sure that you check in with your people who are working with you, check in with your team players. Don't leave them hanging. That a good leader cares about their people and they would check in. Hey, how are you going with XYZ? Do you need any help? Very, very simple, right? I just ask questions along the whole journey. And then what I do is in that check-in space is now my responsibility is to set them up to follow the same system I've just shown you. And then this is how we get multiplication working. This is how we create that hero makers conversation, right? So I've probably spent a little bit longer on that than I really had planned to spend. But let's open it up now to an open mic conversation. Let's go around the room. I'm going to go everybody the opportunity here to share their input. Start with Celeste. I'm going to give you two questions, right? So, right, you got the opportunity here to pick the brain's trust with one big challenge that you see in that whole thing. The challenge is the thing that's got like the handbrake on the conversation. It's the thing that you're confused about. It's the thing that you're overwhelmed. It's the thing that's going to get you activated in the race and race well and get into the game and take massive action. But I also want you to look at the big light bulb moment, the big insight moment, the big thing that has unlocked for you in that conversation. So it's the challenge, but then there's also the insight. So let's start with the insight, Celeste, and then we'll look at your challenge. And then we'll go Celeste, then we'll go Mel, then we'll go Daryl, and then Dave and Jade. I just want to hear, if you've got something to add to the conversation, please just bring it to the table. I'm just make sure I look at my calendar to see if I've got a little bit extra time here. If we can, I am present to time. So it's now, we've got 12 minutes. Yeah, no, I don't. Hang on. I've got a call with Dave. So yeah, Dave, we're probably just going to chew into our time a little bit. Let's just spend the next, 15, 20 minutes here. Let's go 10 minutes overtime if that's okay, Dave. And I'll ask for permission. Well, I'm not. I'm asking for forgiveness, really. And let's just spend 20 minutes here with an open mic. Celeste.
Oh, Jeff, I hate to talk out loud.
I know, right? This is me challenging you to help you.
You are challenging me. Like I take a deep breath. This is for growth. Well, actually, I got in a lot out of this just about the whole mindset. I've heard it 100 times, not 100 times, but you know what I mean. You hear about it.
Hear it 100 more times too.
Yeah, that's fine. Just keep reminding me, to let go, take ownership. And, I reflected back on how I was talking to Jade and I'm like, yeah, like who wants to hear all that crap? It's my crap, and I don't need to, I can change that. I don't need to be like, oh, I hate my job and I want to retire, blah, 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 So I know I need to change that mindset. And I'm putting that in the background of everything else that I feel like I need to do. So if I take that away and change into, a more positive framework, and I feel like prayer has a lot to do with this too. That's what I need to do. I just need to get off the ground. I need to, pick myself up and Garbage in and garbage out. That's the
Right.
truth. So
So it starts with you, and I just want to. I'm just reflecting, right? You can go from one extreme to the next, and then you can start to go into that whole fake it till you make it conversation, right? It's not about that. What it's about is it's flipping the switch on the drama, right? Like we've all got drama in our lives. We've all got excuses.
yeah,
We've all got things going on
yeah.
in our lives. But see, I choose to, and this is a choice. Whatever's going in my life, I choose to look at it and I go, all right, where's the growth in that? What can I share in that? See, I can share, like you can say to people and reframe. It's a reframe, right? You can say to people,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm sick to death of my job. I'm ready to retire. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are like that as well. And you know what? I'm choosing to do something about it, not stay stuck in that pain. See what I'm doing? I'm acknowledging
Mm-hmm.
Suckville. I'm acknowledging it because it's real,
Yeah.
but I'm not staying stuck in there. See, people stay stuck in their drama by choice, really, whether they realize it or not. You know, we've all got drama, we've all got
Yeah.
bullshit in our lives, and so we can leverage it, right? So this is what I do with you. You know, I would just talk about that pain, that struggle, that challenge that you're in, but then leverage it, turn it into fuel, turn it into your reason why, and in that you're going to help people other connect to that why, because people don't buy what you do, they're buying why you do it. So share that. And so you start
Oh,
a conversation and you go, and I'm gonna swear here for a second, Celeste. So I apologize if that
go
offends.
right ahead.
You know what? I fucking hate my job. And so you start with that. And see what that does is, oh, that's a pattern interrupt. Oh, I hate my job too. Oh, someone's finally calling it out. Oh, yes, someone's finally said it, rather than hiding behind it and and worried about the rejection and worried about the fear and how other people might react to it. If they react to it, that's their shit. That says more about them than it says about you. But
I
you could
have
post and says, I fucking hate my job, but you know what, I'm not going to stay here in this pain anymore. I'm choosing to do something about it. Here's what I'm choosing to do. And if you get excited about that, if that's something that lights you up, let's talk. So I use the shit in my life to use it for fuel, use it for growth, use it for lesson. I'm actually about to do a sermon for our online church, and the title of the sermon is to call Let's Embrace the Shit of Our Life. Because here's the metaphor for you, right? At the moment, you're like a little seed that's being planted. When you plant a seed, what do we do with that seed? We cover it with dirt. And then if we're a really good gardener, we cover it with shit. Shit is fertilizer, shit is manure, shit is growth fuel, right? So then we use the nutrients out of that shit to help us to get what we need to grow. And then all of a sudden we're starting to poke up our head and we're starting to blossom and we're starting to grow. And then all of a sudden we're out of the soil, and that's where we go. You know what happens? At that moment before you pop up out your head out of the darkness, out of the shit, out of the soil, that'll be the hardest moment in your growth journey you ever have to go through, because you've got to force that growth, right? You've got that growth happening. You've got momentum. You've got consistency. What happens? You grow, you grow, you grow, then you blossom. Now you're a big, beautiful sunflower. And you know what happens to that sunflower? It creates seeds. The sunflower dies. Those seeds need to go through that whole process again. And this is the cycle of life. This is the entrepreneurial journey. Welcome to your new hard.
I like it. Got to practice it.
Embrace it.
Just embrace it. It's the mindset.
Embrace the shit and leverage it,
Embrace the shit.
right?
Embrace the
You want to stay
mindset.
stuck in the shit, or you can use the shit to fertilize you and grow up out of it.
And that becomes your story.
How do you
Yeah,
think?
that's good.
It's good.
Good stuff, Jeff.
Good. Daryl. Sorry, Mel, if I did say it the other way around. I can't remember. So, Daryl.
How are we all?
Good.
I touched a bit on, I suppose, been through this yesterday with you in that call. A big shift.
Right?
Sorry?
It's probably next level, though, yeah?
It's just how I've chosen to move on from an incident that happened to me a couple of weekends ago with my best mate and I getting jumped and bashed from behind, basically. I would have in the past had easy habits of just spiraling and going into anger and wanting retribution and things like that.
That's what we
But
know. That's what's familiar.
Yeah, but I've chosen to use it as a fuel, to look at it in a way of how my daughter and my mates' daughters saw us handle the situation, how I could use it as fuel to change a few things in my life that I had those doubts of, hey, was that a factor?
Right.
So rather than dwell on what if, I'm dwelling on what I'm doing instead.
Beautiful. Massive growth.
And that's a lot of that's come from being a part of this community and the recommendations that I've got from you guys, the support. So yeah, it's meant a lot.
A lot of that's for you doing the actual work too, right? We're only guides on the journey. You're the one that's actually had to do the work. And it's your choice to do the work or not. And I want to give you credit where credit's due, man. I have seen massive growth over this last month, and that is only because you've embraced the shit. You know,
I'm still in that as a something to put at the top of a post, something in relation to that shit, because I've got a few I've been drafting how to share that story in a way as well. My mates hate social media and hasn't mentioned it publicly about what's happened to us either.
So
because
just share it in different.
It's just reframing it
now. Park it for later.
No, I'm sharing it in a way that sort of says, hey, there's been an event that's happened, but this is what I could have done, and this is what I'm doing instead.
Go.
Yeah.
You're making the story about the hero of the story is the lesson and the wisdom, not the victim of the story, which you and your mate.
Yeah. It's a bit like I was part of why I was able to post that post in relation to Selena's condition and me becoming a full-time carer.
Right. So this is what I mean by spinning things, right? We can choose to spin it in the way that's focused on the drama and the victim and that sort of thing. And that's what most people do, right? They air their dirty laundry out on social media. And I hate doing that too. I hate it when other people do it. That's not attractive. That is the, oh, poor me. That is the whinger sort of attitude, right? And we can smell that coming away. And some of us go, poor you. Oh, can we help him? You know, we get into that bleeding heart conversation. That's not leadership.
No.
That's not empowering. That's not equipping. But you can use your shit that happens in your life to reframe it, to restructure it, to spin it in a way that shares the wisdom and the insights and the growth. So you're acknowledging the hard, but then you're being a leader because you're leading people out of the hard, and then you're leading yourself out of that.
Yep.
What I've actually come to realize, the more selfless I become, the actual more selfish I can be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you've got to look after
I help, the more people I help, the more I actually get helped in return. And the more selfless I can be, and the more servant-hearted that I can actually ask a lot more people around me who know me, because they know of how I've helped them, for help. So the more selfless I can be, it gives me permission to be selfish to certain people.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Does.
Yeah, because we're all wired to be selfish. It's just we're all operating our selfishness out of lack and scarcity versus abundance. Yeah? Mel, over to you. Thanks, Daryl.
My last 6 months haven't been that bad. You know, to have something like that happen to you, I don't know the story or the details, but I know someone that had that happen to them many, many years ago from behind, and it's a scary thought, and I think you've dealing with it really well. So thanks for sharing that. My question was, posting 3 times a day, what sort of content, how do you split that up?
Yeah, great. Do you remember the content calendar? Have we ever done a content calendar lesson with you?
With your stories and yeah. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We've talked about content pillars before, haven't we?
Yeah, it's something I probably have put down for a little bit too long though.
Yeah. So look, I'm posting 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Right. So here's the thing, right? I've got like just under 10,000 followers. I reckon maybe 5% of that are actually seeing my content, you know, at any one time. So that 5% will see some, that 5% will see some, that 5% will see some. So it rotates through it, right? So the 10,000 people that I've got there are not seeing 10 posts a day. They may see 3 or 4. But look, I share insights, I share my wisdom, I share the lessons around that. So, you know, and it's not always about, you know, finance pro, it's not always about, you know, marketing, it's not always so it's about faith. You know, that one's a faith post, that's someone else's post. That one there is a lesson value-based post around, you know, insights around leadership and marketing and everything intertwined. This one here is about, you know, who is Jeff Ross, the mission, the why. So that's more of a, you know, an about me type post. This is a question type post to spark engagement. You know, this one here is just an entertainment based post. You know, I think if you, and look, and what I do is I use my circumstances and my, you know, the conversations that I have, like that don't worry, be happy post. Like that was come off the back of having to deal with some drama in a network marketing trio. Like there was just like people get up in their heads and they get greedy and it's like, oh, that's my person, that's my person. And in the background, I'm going to saying to Harrison, it's like everybody just is like 3-year-olds sometimes walking around in adult nappies, you know, and they think that's my person. And I said, well, hang on, are they slave owners? You don't own anybody. And then I get into that space, and then Harrison says, you know that song, Dad, where people say, you know, don't worry, be happy. That's brilliant, right? So I don't have to share the dirty laundry about the thing that's happening in the background. But like everybody needs to hear that song everybody now and then. Don't worry, be happy. So I just have fun with it, right? So this is the power of unlocking your voice, knowing your values, knowing your origin story, and all of that sort of stuff. And then you just show up and just be you, just have fun. Right, distraction is your biggest enemy. Like that come off another lesson. You know, I was talking about someone said to me, you know, Jeff, you seem like you've got a few things on the plate. Don't you get distracted? Well, no, because I am focused on the core mission. If I didn't have the mission in posters and I was jumping around from one thing to the next, then yeah, I would be distracted. Yeah, I'd be lost in the noise. You know, so Celeste, you mentioned a comment at the very beginning, and I want to call that out. You know, at the moment, you've got this crypto thing, you've got Finance Pro, you've got this travel thing. I'm going to tell you right now, you need to choose one, right? You need to focus, follow one course until successful. And the one thing that you really need to focus on is you, is your clear mission, is your clear purpose, is your clear heart. Because these things that you're involved in, I can see that you're involved in them because you don't want to miss out. But isn't that just a scared conversation? You don't want to miss out. See, if I knew I'm clear on my mission, right? I'm clear on my purpose. So the conversation shifts. I don't want to miss out to how does this help me serve my mission? How does this help me create a bigger impact? So that's where I look at multiple things, and I only join things to serve that, not to miss out, but to have a wider impact. So it's a shift in the way that we look at it, right? So, you know, a lot of people are out there jumping out from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, or they've got multiple opportunities because they're looking for the thing that they really want to get behind, and they're marrying a lot of things. And I get it. I've been there, done it, got the rodeo buckle to wear. In my wisdom and in my insight in that space, as I can do it from my vantage point now, because I'm very clear on how I am running the race. If you're not clear on running the race and you're still figuring that out, then the thing that you need to focus on is that, not another opportunity, right? So a lot of the things that I'm part of multiple opportunities, but I only really talk about the ones that are serving the impact for right now, and a few of them are parked. Look, I joined another one yesterday purely for the reason because Michael Silvers and Mo Rock from LA Tribune, who don't get in the direct spelling space, they jumped into this thing called Talk Fusion. Not sure if you've heard of that one, the email video thing. I had a good hard look at that 3 months ago and said no to it. It's not for me, but it's come back around full circle, and I've jumped on board for one reason, so I can be closer to Michael and Mo, you know, because they're excited about it. So I put down a $350 investment into that relationship. Not to the opportunity. I couldn't give two shits about Talk Fusion. The product itself to me is not a very sexy product. So why did I say yes to that? Because Mo and Michael asked me. Mo Rock is the CEO of the Los Angeles Tribune. Michael Silvers is my mentor, is the vice president of the Los Angeles Tribune. I'm wanting to strengthen and deepen that relationship. And I want them to see me as an action taker, as a player in the game, because that is the way I'm going with all of this. You know, that relationship's going to get me speaking on stages all around the world. It's going to, you know, I've got speakers training coming out from some of the best in the world in that space. So here's the thing, right? I'm focused on the mission, not the opportunity. And I've said yes to joining it to strengthen that, deepen that mission and that purpose and that relationship that can help me to go places in that space. Will I probably bring in a couple of people, of course, in that? Of course I will. I'll get my money back. I'll help others set them up for success, and away they go with it. But see, that's just another product on my shelf to serve an agenda. The agenda is the mission. Most people's agenda is their bucket, is their bottom line, is their wallet, right? Because they think that's the thing that's going to give them the freedom. That is the distraction. That is the lie. That is the smoke and mirrors. Done that, chased that rabbit, gotten nowhere with it. Caught that rabbit a few times, made $1 million, lost it. Made $1 million, lost it. That was me chasing that rabbit, right? So shifting over here, chasing impact, working towards striving mission, working towards serving others to help them to unlock their greatness, their empowerment, and then getting clear on that focus. I'm very clear that I can say yes and no to things because I run it through that lens. I'm no longer guessing. It's intentional. Does all this make sense?
Yeah. I wanted to say one thing. I kind of felt that I felt like a few things were really good things were dropped in front of me. But one of my first thoughts was I want to be around the people that are successful, the people that are doing this, the people that are,
If
and that's kind of how it
decisions from, then great.
that's how the first two started. The last one was just it, that one I've kind of put on the back shelf. Like I just can't do that. I think the first two, so it was more of like, I think this will really help me. I'm going to be around the people that are doing it,
Right.
know about it. Like I felt like it was a great opportunity just to jump on that, because how often do you get that chance to be up near the top of the people that are doing it,
We're wrapping up to.
yeah, and that's all I was going to say. It was about that is, so it's not all just the money thing for me.
And I know that that's what you're about, right? So
Yeah.
when we can justify it, because that's what we do, right? We sell ourselves, we buy into ourselves, we justify it to ourselves. When we can justify from that conviction and confidence and that belief, that's what it's really all about. It's when people can't do that and they just jump in for the sake of jumping into things, then that's when the people have got a problem.
But it worries me. You say pick one. It's like I can pick two, maybe.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
What I'm encouraging you to do is not pick an opportunity. What I'm encouraging you to do is pick you.
Okay.
You are the one thing that you need to focus on. Those products are just solutions to other people's problems. But until you're clear on the problems that those products help you to solve, they will just be a very expensive hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I'm encouraging you to focus on is what's your why? What's your mission? What is your values? What is your brand voice in that space? Like we've got a one-on-one coming up and we'll do a deep dive in that space to help you to do that.
Yeah.
That's the thing that you need to focus on.
Sounds good.
Put you first.
Okay.
Because people will buy you, Celeste, not your products.
Okay.
Right. So this is
I've got a lot of work to do on me.
of course we do. We all do. I've still got a lot of work to do. Jade's still got a lot of work to do. It never stops. That's the exciting, fun part about this. We just mature. Yeah. At the moment, we're like learning to crawl. We've got to learn to crawl before we can learn to walk. All that sort of thing, right? So embrace this messy, hard learning, because this is where a lot of people shy away from it and never do this work and wonder, why it doesn't work for them, because then they go into blame, excuse, and denial. They go into victim mode. Network marketing has such a bad stigma around it all because people have tried and failed at it, because not enough leaders have had this tough conversation with their people. A lot of people have been set up and sold a lie and set up for failure. I'm not going to do that. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to help you break it through it. I'm here to help you to do the hard, embrace the hard, be the best version that you were created to be. Is it going to be easy? No. Will it be simple? Maybe, if you do the work. Is it going to be fun? If you embrace it and have fun with it. Will it be worth it? Better bloody believe it. Sorry, Dave and Jade, I've hogged the mic today, but I think that's it's been very valuable. And the time is 11:11. Look at that. So we'll close it out there. We'll call that one a wrap. Thanks for your time, Dave, guys. This has been a very powerful session. It's just been, off the top of my heart, really. But it's been a space to help us to get a lot of traction, I believe. So now, don't sit here with it. Go and apply it. Go take one of those C's. There was 5 C's I gave you, right? Connect, content, conversations, close. I'm blank on the other C. Caffeinated. Let me just quickly close this out. Close the loop. Did have him here written up here in my ChatGPT for me, and now I've lost my space. Here we go. Right. Pick one of these and master one of these this week. You don't have to master all 5 of them, but these are the 5 things that you need to master over time. Connect. Go start conversation. Go connect with the right people. Go build up your influence. Go build up your friends. Get to that 5,000 capped out friends thing as fast as possible. Go have 500 conversations as fast as possible. That's where you're going to learn how to you mature in this space, right? By being intentional and taking massive action. So that's connect. Content. Go start putting content up. Like I've given you loads of content ideas around that today, and share your stories. Converse. Go start conversations. Close. Get good at follow-up. Get good at continuing conversations. Get good at continuing the relationship. Good at closing people. And check in. Check in with your people. Reflect, plan, future-paced, vision cast. Build people up. I don't build products. I don't build businesses. I build people. Right? So choose one of those to get master at it. And my recommendation, if you're just starting out, start at the connection piece, because that's probably going to be the fastest way to get you in the game. Thanks for your time. Bye for now. Dave, I'll hang this one up and I'll come back to you in about probably 5 minutes, mate, and just have a break.
Yep, give me 5.
Too easy. Talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.